Good morning, you beautiful people! So that was my family doing the all happy birthday, good morning you wonderful people thing. And I wanted to tell you about the compost pile quickly. Look, you can put it. And Brendo, I've got a bit of an issue here. Brendo, my sister channel in Australia, and Beshy, one of my mates in Australia, and Grant in Swakopmund believes they make better compost than I do. Now, I'm not gonna lie, they might have some truth to it, but they challenged me and I accepted the challenge. Now the challenge is, we are gonna make compost. We have 3 weeks to prepare and then 3 months to let it cook, and then after that we'll measure and see who's got the best one. Whoever loses has to get a picture of the other one on top that says Compost King. So hopefully Brenda will have a picture of me and says Compost King above that on his shoulder, and hopefully it won't be me. Let's see. Now, I don't know that much about compost, but I've got some plans. So let me grab the camera quickly and show you what I'm planning, yeah, what we've got going. Let me just open this thingamabobster up. And so, you know, I've had so many lessons in compost. Like my wife said, she said to me this morning, you know, you haven't listened to a word I've said. And I thought, what a strange way to start a conversation. But anyway, I had so many lessons in compost and I should have paid better attention. This is a heap that we've got going. You can see there's some red wigglers in there. Some worms, and so this is an older pile. There is some biochar in there, and then on the inside it is hot as hell. Now my strategy is, I'm gonna start with the organisms from this pile and inoculate the new pile with that. Okay, sit vir ons daai gras op. So this is new horse manure, so I'm gonna cheat a little bit, have the worms and all the organisms immigrate to the new pile. And then I am going to do 2 processes in one. I am going to heat it up and I'm going to have worms in it. In other words, the inside is going to be hot as hell. The outside will have worms. I am quite sure that we will have worms. Now this, I see, is still a little bit dry, but anywhere you look on the outside of this pile, obviously when you're not filming, it never works. You will find worms. Let me see if I can find any. Yeah, but there's normally so many worms in here. Yeah, obviously not when you're filming. But the worms will eat all the cold sides, and then the hot sides, hotness inside will be devoured by microbial life. Once a month we will turn it. It will become hot inside. The termites of the worms will move to the outside perimeters, and I think it might be a new way of doing it. We will do grass and horse manure and biochar. That is what we will add, and then we will see what happens to it over 3 months. Now there's 2 things that I want to mention. First, such a strange way when you look at certain resources, the options that it gives you on how to use it. So we have grass now there on that compost pile. Now I had an option. Do I use it as mulch? Which, I mean, we need in Mikon's garden, we need tons of grass as mulch. Do I use it as feed for the horses, or do I use it to compost? Now, I'm not saying this is always going to be the answer. The answer might change. Obviously grass is a daily choice for feed for the horses, for instance, and for the rabbits, etc. But it's a thing that we have to consider. What is our choice now? The same goes for this pile of poop here. Now this pile of poop is a resource that we have, and if you have a couple of options. Yeah, let me just sit next to it and open it up for you a little bit. See, it's nice and fresh. It's at a camping site. dropped by the horses today. Now, pile of poop, you have a couple of options as well. You can leave it right here. There's no work involved. The dung beetles go and they carry it into the land. Termites might come, the wild birds might come and scratch it apart. A day or two from now, it will most likely not exist. Flies will lie there, little eggs in it. That is what will happen. Next thing is you can feed it to the chickens or the pigs. You can push it through their stomachs, or both. You can push it through the pigs while the chickens also scratch at it. Turn that into meat, or you can use that in compost. And then you have to consider the pros and cons of various options. Now, it will change depending on your needs and maybe your energy levels and availability of labor. Those things will change. The reason why I chose to put the grass in the compost heap is simply to vary it a little bit, to get some more roughage in there. Grass as a mulch, I'm struggling with, because it's like a week then it's gone. You've gone through all of that effort, you've mulched it, you've made a thick layer like this, and then a week later in our climate, the termites have taken most of it. And that doesn't mean it's wasted, it goes into the soil. It just feels wasted. If you push it through a horse, then you get horse energy. Push it through a rabbit, then you might get meat. Push it through compost, then you get soil. And I don't think the termites are as active in completed compost as they are in raw materials. Ruben is driving there away. And that gives me an opportunity to just say thank you to Cherokee, Fat Cat Romance and Cherokee. Bought some bricks and some cement to work on Lucas's room. And then Sue B bought 2 tar poles to use in our outside perimeter fence. I've changed the coffees around a little bit so you can choose something to buy. Currently what we need some labor. Lucas has been sick, Matthew has been sick, Im's chickens got stolen, he was out the whole day. We need some labor, so if you want to employ a Namibian from the street, you can select go employ a Namibian, and then within the next 3 days we would have done that. So what I rather use as mulch rather than grass is these sticks. They're a little bit further away from the ground. They must also do eat them, but not as much, and they also protect the soil quite a bit. And then obviously we are working towards different living mulches. I think that's going to be the main thing in Mikkel's garden, is to get as many living roots and plants in the soil as possible to make it work. So that is our choice for mulch. So that is one of the reasons I used grass in the compost. Right, so I'm also going to, as soon as Brenda's first compost video is up mentioning this challenge, and the other guys as well, I'm going to leave a link to their channels as well. And then obviously vote for me. I think because I'm the prettiest, definitely I can dance better. I have a cow, you know, all of this nice things. Vote for me when the time comes, so I don't lose this compost challenge. I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.